What's going on? What's going on? It's Crew with Electric Ground, and I'm sitting here with
What's up, y'all? It's Chaka.
Chaka. Hey, we down here in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
And Chaka, I'm in your space. You look like you got a lot of creativity, a lot of opportunities at the same time that you provide to people. What is it that you do?
Man, well, I'm the founder and director of Dawa, which in Swahili it means medicine. And the acronym is Diversity, Awareness, and Wellness in Action. And so I started it in 2019, basically to support a specific community in Austin, which I call community frontliners. So that's the teachers, the creatives, the social workers, the healthcare providers, and the service industry folks. Because like a lot of people that take those roles in our society, they tend to be undervalued and underpaid, right? And that can lead to mental health concerns, that can lead to homelessness in certain times. And I've experienced a lot of those things in my own life and my own journey as a creative. I'm a hip hop artist. I'm also a visual artist. But taking that path, it's a lot of ups and downs if you try to stay on that path. Don't necessarily take a full-time job. You're not trying to do it as a hobby. This is like what I do. This is my passion. There's a lot of struggles that come along with it. People probably watching this may be familiar with some of those struggles. So I started Dawa because I was in a good place financially, and I wanted to get back to that community specifically. So the idea was to just like every few months throw a party, raise some money, and then when we got to $10,000 to give it out. So in 2020, the pandemic happened, George Floyd and all that. And so before we knew it, we had like tens of thousands of dollars, almost $50,000. So we gave away our first $50,000 in June of 2020, and since 2020, we've given away since 2020, we've given away almost $300,000 to that community that I just talked about. So, the idea to start was just doing the Dawa Fund. But a few years later, about a year later actually it's 2 years later, after 2020, we started Dawa Studios, which is basically a free content studio, because I felt like during the pandemic, I did a bunch of live streams where we were bringing in artists, we were paying them, we were finding sponsors, we were creating like an atmosphere, because people couldn't go out, we were creating atmospheres online for people to enjoy music, and I'm making very much like a TV show.
That's right.
And so like while we were doing that, I was like, why isn't there something like this that's just happening on a regular? Like why don't we have a place where people can just do live streams, or we can kind of create that energy on a daily basis? So that's when I came up with the idea for Dawa Studios. So Dawa Studios is a free content studio for creatives or BIPOC-led organizations. BIPOC, for those that don't know, is Black, Indigenous people of color. So basically people of color to come in and just express themselves and create. So that's Dawa Studios. We're in Dawa HQ, which is the home of Dawa Studios and the home of Dawa and everything that we do. We're in East Austin right now. It's a historically Black neighborhood, which has been going through the process of gentrification, so there's been a lot of changes here. But this street in particular, most of the people have been here for 20, 30, 40 years. So it's an honor to be where we're at and serve the community in that way, And
they're rooted here. If it's 20, 30 years, they said this is where we at, but we're gonna make do what we got.
Yeah.
And instead of going to look for, we're gonna create it here.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like it's getting harder and harder to do that. The city, the property tax is going up because there's a lot of people moving here, buying up homes. I saw the other day like the median income for homes is like $500,000, in the city. So that's a major reason why we have Dawa, is because the city is, while it's growing and some of those things are positive, the negative side of it is that like everyday folks are having a harder time living here. It's becoming more and more unaffordable for folks, everyday folks, creatives specifically. So having gone through those struggles my own self, like it was a time here, we moved here, we didn't know anybody, we moved here, me and my wife, we got a group called Riders Against the Storm, which traveled all around the world. We've been named, best band in Austin and Austin Chronicle 3 years in a row. We've done our thing in the city, which allowed me to have the free time to start something like Dawa. But we went through those challenges, man. Like this time we were on food stamps here. We got cut off of food stamps. I know a lot of people probably watching has been through that. Me myself, like I didn't grow up, with food scarcity. So like for me, that was hard. Just being like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna, get a sandwich tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So, folks that grew up with that as a reality from youth, like salute to you, respect to you for overcoming that or, dealing with that. But like me personally, that was like, and my wife grew up, with those issues. So that was very triggering for her. Mentally, it's like kind of like throwing it back to those times. So like, that trauma of dealing with that. So we were both going through a lot mentally. And on the outside, people were seeing us in this magazine, they're seeing these things happen. They think we're good. What they don't know is behind all that, just paying the bills and everything is not easy when that's the only thing you're doing. And you're trying to stay focused on it. And it takes that type of focus to get to the point of success. So that's the you know, that's the struggle of the journey, you know, and very few people actually get there. You know, sometimes they quit just before, you know, they make it to that point.
About to happen.
You know, but you know, we're thankful that we did get to that point, and you know, this Dawa is my way of giving back.
The music that you do is hip hop. Your wife's involved. She's in the band as well.
Yeah, it's me and her, man. We've been together for, it's gonna be 17 years in February. We started our group before we got together, so this was like 20 years ago, basically. But you know, when we started, I was a high school teacher. I was doing, you know, it was on the side. Yeah. You know, like a lot of people watching this, they probably like, you know, I like to rap, I like to do this, I like to do that. Let me just put some stuff out and just, you know. So it was like that for several years. Yeah. You know, when we decided that we wanted to actually do it, that's when we had to like leave the city that we're in. At the time, we were in Providence, Rhode Island, and you know, we thought about New York, we thought about Philly, DC, basically because those two cities are close to New York. We thought about Atlanta. We even thought about, you know, the West Coast, but you know, it's something about each city where it was like, one, it was either we were gonna have to hustle super hard and like, you know, coming out of the, you know, the teaching environment and kind of the community service environment, like I was just kind of burnt out. Yeah. And didn't want to like have to hit the ground and be hustling, and so that was kind of, we were hesitant to go into that type of situation. And then, you know, Atlanta was a situation we thought about, but we weren't sure we were gonna be able to stand out like we wanted to. You know what I'm saying? So there was just like you know, we weighed the pros and cons, and like when Austin, there wasn't anything like where it was like, oh wow, this is crazy, but the cost of living at that time, this was 14 years ago, it was very affordable. There you go. That was number one. South by Southwest was happening here every year. ACL was happening here every year. So we thought there was enough things going on. There's a real prioritization to live music and music in general. Like people here love music. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? If you really doing it, people will come out and support you. And we kind of just felt all those things meant that we could kind of achieve our goals as creatives. So we moved down here, man, and you know, the rest is history. You know, we done a lot of things in the city. The name definitely rings out. You know, a lot of people know Riders Against the Storm. We have a party here called Body Rock ATX that we've been doing. It's gonna be 14 years in February. It's actually next Friday, February 2nd. We're bringing Jarobi from a Tribe Called Quest. He's gonna be DJing. K Cali, DJ Corrupt. Like, you know, we've been doing this. Like, this is like, you know, this is our life. You know what I'm saying? And we love it. Like, we come from the era, from the hip hop era where, like, you know, it's a culture, it's a community thing. That's right. You know, you do it for, you know, more than just like the fame of it. Yeah. You know, there's way of life. There's a spirit to it. You know what I mean? So when people, I think that's really what's allowed us to be relevant through all this time, is that like that's the heart of it. It's like it's the spirit of just being together in a group, in a room, and you know, lifting each other up. You know, like call and response, or just, you know, just screaming and just like, yo, are we here? Like, we're gonna enjoy this moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? These words, we're gonna stop, we're gonna talk, we're gonna vibe. You know, it's like a big party. So, because we really just only have, I mean, you know, tomorrow's not promised, so you gotta enjoy today. You already know. And then, of course, you don't hold back. I always say, don't hesitate, especially when you got the shot. You're gonna take it. You know, so yeah, man. The influence. Just you and your wife alone, and you got other band members still. That unity is impactful in ways that y'all don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Band members have changed like throughout. You know, there was a time where we had like a specific band, but you know, that was a transition for us. You know, honestly, because like there's a time when we really like were hitting and like really like when we elevated where we had a band and that was our focus. But when we got to a point where we really wanted to start to save money and start to, you know, manage our money, that's when we went back to like the old hip hop of like just the MCs and the DJ. Yeah. And because like the band, when we had the band, it was like 8 people, 9 people. We breaking bread 9, 10 ways. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like going back to us and the DJ allowed us to take more of that money in and invest it, move it around, and you know, get ourselves in a different situation. So, you know, that was a hard time, you know, just because the band, like, it became like family and everything, and that wasn't an easy transition. But, you know, it was the best thing that we could do for ourselves. It was feasible. You know what I mean? And so, like, if people catch us, sometimes they might see us with a DJ, sometimes they might see us with a band. different sizes of band. It all depends on what we get paid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the format, because Riders Against the Storm is me and my wife. You know, and then whoever else is with us, you know, that's who's with us. But Riders Against the Storm is me and her.
I got you.
Yeah.
And so here you do, you know, podcasts. People might perform.
Yeah. So like, this is a space. It's, you know, 1,100 square feet. You know, on Mondays and Tuesdays, people come to Dawa Studios. If they're creative, they can do podcasts. If they're a performer, they can perform their songs. You know, like. And then, you know, when they leave here, they have an edited video. If they want to do a live stream, they can do a live stream from here. We have people live streaming to Twitch. We have people live streaming to YouTube. It's basically just, if you're a creative, like any idea that you have, you bring it here, and we basically take away all the technical stuff. You just go and do your thing.
That's
right. You know what I'm saying? So we got the mics, we got the cameras. You want to do an interview, all you got to do is sit here and talk. And then you get up and you go, and you got a video when you get home. So we want to, add to the community in that way, because sometimes that keeps people from being creative. Sometimes it's like, I don't know how to work the cameras, or I don't know how all the technology that I need. It's not that you can't learn it, but, you know, especially those that are watching, you know, that might have a job, 2 jobs, you know, that might keep them. They might have a great idea, they might have a great talent, but, you know, sometimes, you know, you got kids or whatever, things just get in the way. So it's like, you know, let's take some of those things out your way and see what you can do, see how you can grow. So, you know, that's what we're here for, you know, because the fact of the matter is, Austin is becoming, you know, more and more unaffordable for everyday people, like I was saying earlier. And, you know, the more barriers that we could take away, the more opportunities that we could create, we feel like the better the city is as a whole. Because when we give to those people that are giving in that way, it amplifies and just like creates a ripple effect throughout the entire city.
Well, it does, especially when you got consistency like that. So when people pay attention, even if they don't say anything, you know, they do look and maybe make comments and spread, and they didn't realize they were spreading it. So, and you do have an event on the 2nd of February, you said. Yeah. Anything further out? You know, how far throughout the year do you guys plan stuff?
Yeah, we play. Well, the Body Rock is a party that we used to do every month. But we do it now 6 times a year, because like we want those parties to be even more special. You know, when you do it every month, you know, sometimes people feel like, and don't get me wrong, we average like 300 to 400 people a party. You know, but you know, we want it to be at that. Our sweet spot is like 5, 6.
There you go.
Because we feel like the party is really an opportunity for us to like let go, release, to connect. And you know, it's like a lot of times you see parties these days, it's like nobody's really even having fun. You know, nobody's even really like, it's just, I don't know what it is. It's a scene, I don't know, like people came to just like look at each other, but like this party is like straight up, we will stop, we were like, all right, man, you know, say what's up to your neighbor, give somebody a hug right now, give somebody a hug, you know, let's make it, hey, everybody make some noise. Like, it's really a moment for us to just like lift the energy, and we feel like it, like again, it has this reverberation effect throughout the city. You know what I'm saying? And to be doing it for 14 years, that's no accident. You know what I mean? It's a real live energy, man, and I highly recommend it to anybody that's in town. You know, our next one is February. After that, we're doing it in April. Usually it's the first Friday of the month, but if you look up Body Rock ATX on Instagram, you know, find us, follow us. You know, on our IG, the Riders Against Storm IG is Ross Hip Hop, RASHIPHOP. Follow us. The energy's always good. It's always live.
And see, so y'all know where to find them at. Y'all know how to take action. Last thing I'd want to know is, what message do you have for people who haven't came to visit here, what they're likely to, you already explained what they're likely to expect, but what message do you have for people when they hear Dawa, what they want to take away from it?
Man, I feel like, you know, just come through, you know, this over the next 6 months, there's gonna be something for everybody. You know, we just had a healing sound bath event in here last night. People were doing Reiki and meditation and mindfulness and things like that. There's that, if you like that type of vibe, you just want a straight up party, you know, type of vibe. We got that going on. We got, tomorrow we got a martial arts. A brother from New York is coming to teach 52 blocks martial arts style. The day after that, we got an entrepreneurship panel and workshop. There's a little something for everybody here because we're investing in the BIPOC, again, Black Indigenous people of color in Austin, community and culture, man. So that's what you're gonna get. You know, if you don't like people, don't come here. If you don't like culture, don't come here. But if you like that, you know, you want to learn something, you want to meet some people that's on a similar wavelength, this is the spot for you, no doubt about it.
That's right. Well, y'all heard it here, man. Definitely appreciate you coming on the show, man. Everything's real. And definitely, I'm glad that people you already know. We're just gonna try to spread that. You know, MAP is Central Texas status at this point. So we spreading. Y'all make sure y'all show up to the event. If you're in Austin, look them up.
Salute.
Electric Ground, we out.